Follow along, and this video will break down better ways that you can activate your lower traps today. Hey prehabbers, this is Dr. Raj Maksudi.
Dr. Michael Lau.
Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the lower trap. The lower trap muscles will help with scapular stability, and today we're going to show you 3 different exercises that you can do to improve your lower trap activation. Okay, so the lower traps are muscles that run on the inside of the shoulder blade. They're going to be responsible for retracting the shoulder blade, pulling the shoulder blades back, upwardly rotating the shoulder blades, as well as posteriorly tilting the shoulder blades, which is this motion here. So exercise number 1 to activate the lower traps will be a hand behind head, elbow lift off. So Mike will be here, hands behind head, and then he's gonna lift up his elbows towards the ceiling as high as he can. And you'll see he's recruiting here, and then slowly lower down. And then lift back up, and you'll see that he's getting great lower trap activation here. A lot of times people will pull back very hard, retract their shoulder blades, and I don't want that. That's actually gonna get a lot of rhomboids, which is fine, but if the goal is lower trap, you actually wanna focus on letting the shoulder blades come up a little bit as you pull back, just because that's the motion of the lower trap. And if you wanna challenge yourself further, you can bring the elbows up a little higher, more of like a Y position, and now pull back, and you'll notice that Mike's scapula come out a little bit more, which is part of that upward rotation. And the posterior tilt aspect of this is very, very hard to see, but the opposite of that will be anteriorly tilting, where the shoulder blade comes forward like that. So you wanna make sure that the scapula post tilts as you lift the elbows off of the floor. And if this variation is still very difficult because you're not going through full range of motion, you can start with a quadruped position where you're on your hands and knees, and it makes it where your shoulder doesn't have to go through end range. It can go through lower ranges of motion. And so same thing here, you're gonna pull back with the shoulder blade. The goal here is to avoid rotating your body as you do this. This is not a thoracic spine mobility drill. This is really designed to activate and get the lower trap muscles. Is that where you're feeling it, Mike?
Yep.
Okay, so that's exercise number 1. Let's go back onto the floor. Exercise number 2 will be a simple prone T, where now Mike's elbows will be straightened out, and what we'll do is lift off. Same idea here. You're just going up as high as you can, slowly coming back and lifting back up. And you'll see a ton of lower trap activation here. And this is the kicker. You wanna make sure to keep your shoulders externally rotated. Yep, thumbs up in the air. You see how Mike's pointing up towards the ceiling? This is crucial in externally rotating, yes. So the opposite, actually that's good. Let's do the opposite, internally rotating. You'll see the activation is not the same. You want to get that external rotation of the shoulder because that's going to externally rotate the scapula as well and get better activation of the lower trap. Now, same thing here. If that's too difficult and you want a little more range of motion, you can go on your hands and knees and perform the prone T with one arm. And that makes sure that you don't have to go just at end range position. So the same thing here too. Avoid thoracic rotation. Just focus on shoulder motion. Now, exercise number 3. This is my favorite, very simple yet very effective, is just a Y. So we're gonna do a prone Y, so his arms are up into this Y position. Same thing where his thumbs are facing the ceiling, and then from here he's pulling up towards the ceiling. Now, same idea that we talked about before, the shoulder blades are not going back and down. They're lifting up towards the ceiling. He's allowing a little bit of this upward rotation. If you can see his scapula, it's right here. It's not pulled back like this. Mike, can you pull back as far as you can? See, that's retracting, downward rotating. Yeah, you want to pull back, but you want to allow for the shoulder blade to actually stay upwardly rotated. It's very, very minimal in terms of the difference, but it makes all the difference if the goal is lower trap versus other muscles that retract the scapula. So this is the prone Y, and this is the most challenging. If you want, you can even use some resistance with this if you want to use a light dumbbell. It's very challenging though. I'd make sure you'd master this position before you progress it otherwise. Another compensation is a lot of people shrug with the upper trap, kind of like this. So the 3 muscles that upward rotate the scapula are the lower trap, the upper trap, and the serratus. So you can get a lot of this overactivation of the upper trap Now that's not necessarily an issue if the goal is to get the upper trap, but with the goal being lower trap activation, let's avoid a lot of that shrugging. So those are the 3 exercises for lower trap activation. All right, guys, we took you through 3 different lower trap activation exercise. Mike, how do you feel after those?
I feel tired, I feel good. It's very, very tiring. The end range stuff is really hard to do. So getting on hands and knees, if you don't have the strength to stay at end range, I think that was huge.
For sure. And these exercises are meant to be on the lighter side, and you should try to do a lot of reps of these. These aren't strength exercises that you want to do 3, 4, 5 rep max. Do a lot of reps, make sure you get that good mind-muscle connection. Comment below which of these 3 exercises were your favorite. I'm curious to hear what you guys say. And if you guys are looking to learn more about the shoulder, we do have a full-on 16-week shoulder prehab program. It'll take you through a ton of different exercises, in addition to giving you specific parameters, reps, sets, rest time, and all that included within that program. Let us know if there's anything else that you guys want us to talk about. Until next Tuesday. See you guys. Thanks for tuning in.